Secondly, Jewish values. Certainly there is the Jewish value of opening one's hand. There's the Jewish value of not doing to another what was done to the Jew. There's also the Jewish value from precisely the same dynamic of what's called pikuach nefesh.
And which is more primary?
There's no question about it. The most important duty that any Jewish person has, with I think two exceptions, possibly three, is the notion of preserving life, of preserving one's life, incidentally, and one's people's life. So that's very important. That's not a Jewish value that should just be cast aside in pursuit of other Jewish values.
It is the single most important Jewish value in our tradition, and normally it's never cited by those who want to criticize Israel.
And it actually happens probably to be one of the very reasons that you, as a member of American Jewry, and I, as a member of British Jewry by way of Israel now, are sitting at this table today, because somebody took the brave decision to preserve life. And it shouldn't be forgotten. So let's not cast one Jewish value aside in order to speak on another Jewish value. Now, with regard to the left, I can only say this, and then if I may, I'll come to my view on J Street, and particularly J Street U, if that's of interest to you. J Street U is their university branch, with which I have a great deal of experience. The left seems to be bound up by a phrase termed tikkun olam. Tikkun olam means to put the world to rights. And what we've seen is a certain readiness to engage in what I would suggest is actually revisionist Jewish history. What do I mean by that, Malcolm? Please follow me on this and tell me if you disagree with me. I've found that they've taken Jewish forefathers and foremothers, such as Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moshe Rabbeinu, David HaMelech, Yoshua, Rav Kook, Ben Gurion, it doesn't really matter which one you invoke. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hannah, Devorah, and they've replaced those individuals with new forefathers, such as the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, you could say perhaps Mahatma Gandhi, and you could probably say Dr. Martin Luther King. That these are the standard bearers of the left. And there's nothing wrong with that. All of those people had great virtue, have great virtue. I'm not going to go into a broader debate about that, but I will tell you this. The one lesson that the left decided to ignore from all of those people that it's brought in as their leaders, Mahatma Gandhi, the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, and Dr. Martin Luther King, was that their first duty was to their own people. Their first, highest duty was to their own people. And it was as a consequence of taking care of their own people that they brought about a far broader and justified and much needed social change. And that's the one lesson that I'm afraid is being ignored and cast aside by those who would invoke them as the best examples of Jewish values, which is what people suggest on the left. Now that's with regard to that.